You finally get the breakthrough, the dream job, the finished creative project, the big personal win, and you run straight to your close friend to share the news. But their face freezes. There is a polite smile, sure, but right underneath it, a tight jaw, a compliment with a needle inside. Within 30 seconds, you somehow find yourself apologizing for being happy, quietly dimming your own light. Because to them, your success isn't something to celebrate. It's a scoreboard they just fell behind on. Here is the hard truth. Some people don't actually want you to fail. They just can't stand seeing you do better than them. They are your stealth competitors, wonderful allies during your struggles, but silent critics during your victories. By the end of this video, you'll recognize the covert signs of hidden envy and learn how to never shrink yourself again. Let's dissect the exact moment this strange emotional switch flips. You walk into the room with genuine, earned excitement about something you worked months to achieve. Watch the micro-expression closely. That half-second pause before they speak. It isn't warmth. It's a quick calculation. A sudden topic change to something unrelated. They act like a living dimmer switch, instinctively lowering the brightness in the room. And the most disorienting part? You walk away feeling guilty for having good news. Because here is the great paradox: when you were broken, they were genuinely fantastic to you. When your heart got broken or you lost your momentum, they brought soup, listened for hours, stayed right by your side. So you think to yourself, how could this person possibly harbor resentment toward me? Here is why. They loved being your rescuer, because your struggle kept their hierarchy safe. When you are struggling, you are non-threatening. You validate their sense of competence and generosity. Your low ground was the very pedestal they stood on to feel secure. The moment you rise, the psychological contract they secretly wrote gets completely shattered. And instead of feeling shared joy, they feel an unspoken, alarming threat. So they reach for subtle tools to restore the balance they feel they lost. They won't scream or attack you openly. That would make them look like the villain. Instead, they deliver weaponized support, polished on top, sharpened underneath. They make sure every triumph you celebrate arrives with a tiny disclaimer attached. And unless you know the psychological playbook, you'll blame yourself for feeling hurt. So let's expose the first classic tactic, the compliment designed to sting. Meet weapon number 1, the compliment wrapped in a cactus. Wow, I'm so proud of you. I could never just put myself out there without worrying about quality like you do. Listen to the architecture of that sentence. It masquerades as praise, but deposits pure poison. Must be nice to have so much free time to practice. You're so lucky they had low standards this year. Notice the common denominator across all of them, attributing your skill to mere luck, low standards, or circumstance. They can tolerate your outcome only if they can successfully erase your agency and discipline. Because admitting that you worked hard and excelled forces them to confront their own stagnation. And that is too painful for a fragile ego to bear. Then comes the social sabotage, the innocent joke told in front of a group. Right when people are congratulating you, they chime in with an old, humiliating anecdote from 5 years ago. Remember when you totally failed that interview, though? Classic. They laugh, and everyone hesitates. If you call it out, you're too sensitive or can't take a joke. It's a micro-tether designed to pull you back down to earth before your wings can fully spread. They look for the one loose thread on your tailored suit and pull it until the whole garment frays. You walked in floating on air, and you walk out checking your collar in the mirror. One sting is an accident. A dozen stings in a row is a pattern of behavioral warfare. And if the backhanded compliment fails to shrink you, they activate move number 2, the reflex that turns your life into their personal competitive arena. Every story you tell, every milestone you share, gets instantly converted into a race. You climbed a steep hill over the weekend? They completed a 50-mile marathon on broken ankles. You bought a dependable used car? They just got approved for a luxury lease with a custom interior. Even your suffering isn't allowed to be your own. If you're tired, they are clinically exhausted. If you have a headache, they've had a chronic migraine since Tuesday morning. It sounds almost comical when you lay it out, but living inside it is deeply draining. Because conversation is supposed to be a tennis rally, back and forth, sharing the court. With a competitive friend, every ball you hit over the net is smashed back at your forehead. They cannot simply witness your experience and say, "That is wonderful, I am happy for you." Saying that feels, in their internal world, like admitting defeat. They operate on an invisible, exhausting rule. I must always occupy the top step of the podium. Watch what happens when you buy a new piece of clothing or adopt a new hobby. Within 2 weeks, they buy the more expensive version, research it obsessively, and try to teach YOU how it works. It isn't inspiration, it's reclamation of perceived dominance. And slowly, you learn to keep quiet about your passions just to avoid the sudden rivalry. You censor your own joy before you even dial their number. You protect them from your success while they never hesitate to flaunt theirs, which leads to the most revealing symptom of all, where they go when the spotlight hits you. Here is the ultimate diagnostic test of an envious dynamic, the selective disappearance. When you launch the business, get engaged, or receive the honor, look at the comments, look at your phone. People you barely spoke to in high school are cheering, strangers are sending congratulations. And your close friend? Complete, deafening radio silence. They were active online 3 minutes ago. They liked 5 food videos and a meme. They simply could not bring their thumb to press likes on your victory, because validating your win feels, to their nervous system, like swallowing broken glass. Notice the pattern. They are present for 100% of your funerals and 0% of your coronations. They will listen to you cry about a breakup for 4 straight hours on a Tuesday night. But tell them you met someone wonderful who treats you like gold, and they suddenly have an early morning meeting. This is known in psychology as schadenfreude paired with malicious envy. Your pain comforts them. Your joy unsettles them. A genuine friend loves you across the entire emotional spectrum, in the mud and on the mountain. They don't need you to be broken in order to feel close to you. A competitor friend, however, can only love the version of you that is lagging safely behind. And when you finally realize this, the grief hits deep. You realize you weren't sharing a life with an ally. You were housing a spectator waiting for your stumble. So why do they do this? What is happening inside their psychological wiring? Let's look at the engine beneath the envy, because understanding it will free you from ever taking it personally again. In 1954, psychologist Leon Festinger coined social comparison theory. Humans naturally evaluate their own worth by comparing themselves to people around them. We don't compare ourselves to billionaires in private jets. We compare ourselves to our peers, our siblings, our friends. In healthy individuals, comparison creates benign envies, inspiration to grow and build your own life. If my friend could do that, maybe I can push myself and grow too. That builds communities. In a stealth competitor, however, envy mutates into the zero-sum delusion. They believe there is only one finite pie of success, beauty, happiness, and respect in the universe. If you take a slice of success, they genuinely feel like you stole that slice right off their plate. Your shine doesn't inspire them. It casts an agonizing shadow over their perceived inadequacy. They suffer from what researchers call malicious envy, the urge to level the playing field by pulling the top person down. And the tragedy is, this almost always stems from deep, unresolved childhood conditioning. They grew up in homes where love was conditional, where they were only valued when they were the smartest or prettiest in the room. To them, being second best feels like emotional abandonment. So they fight for first place not out of malice, but out of existential terror. Now hear this with absolute clarity. Having compassion for their wound does not mean letting them bleed on you. You cannot heal someone's insecurity by amputating your own potential. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. And a friend who demands that you blow out your flame so theirs looks brighter is not a friend. They are a warden. Yet millions of people stay trapped in these friendships for decades. Why? Why do you keep playing small for them? Here is the subtle trap that victims of hidden envy fall into: success guilt. You become hyper-attuned to their fragile emotional state. Before you even speak, you calculate, if I tell them about my promotion, will it trigger their sadness? So you begin the dangerous habit of self-editing. You water down your achievements. Oh, it's not a big deal. I just got super lucky. The salary is actually barely different. You lie to protect their feelings. You downplay your labor to keep the room comfortable. And in doing so, you quietly train yourself to believe that your joy is dangerous. You internalize the belief that being happy makes you a selfish, bad person. This is known as the fawning response to conflict, shrinking to prevent emotional rejection. You turn yourself into a dull background character in your own life so they can stay the protagonist. And the most heartbreaking part, they never ask you to do it out loud. You do it voluntarily out of fear. Fear that if you ever stand at your full, glorious height, they will abandon you completely. So you stay hunched. You walk on your knees so you don't make them feel short. Take a breath and look at the cost of that trade. You traded your authenticity, your self-respect, and your earned celebration. For what? for the fragile, conditional approval of someone who secretly resents your light. That is a bankrupt transaction. And it's time to trace where that old habit of shrinking first took root. Why were you so susceptible to shrinking in the first place? Usually, this script was written early in your childhood. Maybe you grew up in a home where a sibling struggled and your wins were hushed so they wouldn't feel bad. Maybe an insecure parent shamed you for being too cocky whenever you showed genuine pride in your work. You learned an unconscious, survival-level lesson: my shine causes pain to the people I love. To be loved, I must be harmless. To be kept around, I must stay modest to the point of erasure. So when you met this competitive friend in adulthood, the dynamic felt instantly, comfortingly familiar. They played the critic, and you slipped right back into your childhood role, the apologetic achiever. In Australia and the UK, this is called tall poppy syndrome, the cultural habit of cutting down the flower that grows higher than the rest of the field. Mediocrity loves company, but superiority demands isolation. When you grow tall, you don't insult the meadow, you simply show what soil and sun can do. A healthy ecosystem rejoices in the tall trees that shelter the forest, and healthy friends look at your growth and say, "Show me how you climbed, let's climb together." You do not need to spend the rest of your life apologizing for your diligence. You do not need to dull your edges so clumsy people won't cut themselves on your excellence. So how do you actually handle this relationship in real life? Without screaming, without dramatic blow-ups, and without losing your peace? Here is the exact diagnostic test and the graceful, unshakable move. Let's walk through it step by step. Step 1 is what I call the unfiltered win test. The next time something genuinely fantastic happens in your life, tell them cleanly. No self-deprecating padding. No, I just got lucky. No preemptive apologies. Just pure, honest statement of fact: I got the promotion, and I'm really proud of the work I put in. Then say nothing. Watch the silence. Observe what they do with your unfiltered light. Do they meet you with joyful eyes? Or does the air leave the room like a punctured tire? Their reaction is not your responsibility. It is simply data. Clean, objective data. Step 2, put an immediate freeze on the vulnerability pipeline. Stop giving your doubts, insecurities, and unfinished drafts to someone who uses them as ammunition. They have proven they cannot handle your success. They have forfeited the right to hold your sacred heart. Step 3, execute the quiet downgrade. You don't need a fiery confrontation. You don't need to send a 10-paragraph manifesto. You simply shift their category on the mental map of your life. Move them from inner sanctum confidant to pleasant activity friend. Play tennis with them. Watch movies. Grab a coffee. Talk about the weather and cinema. Keep it light, keep it pleasant, keep it low stakes. When there are no trophies on the line, the competition naturally deactivates. And step 4, invest aggressively in your cheering section. Find the people who clap the loudest when you win. The friends who look at your joy and feel their own soul expand, not contract. Pour your energy, your loyalty, and your deep heart into those reciprocal spaces. Because life is far too short to drink champagne with people who wish it was vinegar. So here is the final truth you get to walk away with today. Your light was never designed to be mediated by someone else's insecurity. You can hold immense empathy for their struggle without sacrificing your own elevation. A true friend doesn't ask you to crawl just so they can feel like they're flying. They celebrate every inch of altitude you gain because they know the sky is big enough for everyone. The race you thought you were running in this friendship was never real. Step off the podium, turn the dimmer switch all the way up to full brightness, and let whoever is blinded by your light simply wear sunglasses. You don't need to apologize for blooming. It is literally what you were born to do. If a specific person's face kept flashing in your mind during this video, trust your intuition. You already know. Now you know what to call it. Subscribe. We decode the unspoken patterns of human psychology every week. And next time, the friend who always plays the victim when they hurt you. Because you're not crazy. It has a name.